Hey, what's going on, people? Hope you guys are doing good. Today we're talking about the Galaxy S21 FE. We're gonna go over a few things that you should do if you decide to pick up this phone, first and foremost, and then we're gonna go over some camera tips and tricks. It's gonna be a fun video. Let's do this. So the first thing I recommend is picking up a screen protector in a case to protect your S21 FE. Now, some could argue because the S21 FE does have Gorilla Glass Victus, you don't need a screen protector, but glass is still glass. From the words of my man, Jerry Rig Everything. The screen protector that I decided to go with is the Glass TR from Spigen. It's a really easy screen protector to install. The clarity is great. It goes edge to edge, and the in-display fingerprint scanner still works. So one thing I recommend is that you don't register your fingerprints until after you install the screen protector, or if you already have your fingerprints registered, go ahead and re-register them after you install it. Another thing I recommend is going into the settings, going down into display, and then enable touch sensitivity. This will increase the touch sensitivity of the screen, and it's going to make it work a little bit better with a screen protector. So it'll be a little bit more sensitive. The case that I decided to go with is from Caseology. This is the Nano Pop series. It just snaps right onto the back of the phone like so, but it looks really good. I like the contrast of the navy blue with the yellow around the camera area, and it matches my wallpaper, of course, which is definitely a major win. So it's pretty nice. And I picked up both the screen protector and the case for like less than 25 bucks, so you really can't beat it. So one thing about the Galaxy S21 FE and pretty much any modern flagship these days is the fact that it doesn't come with a charger. So the next accessory I highly suggest that you pick up is a wall adapter or charger. This one's from Aohi, I think that's how you say it. It's a 65 watt PD GaN power delivery charger. I know that's what PD stands for, but we're just gonna reiterate it. Power delivery. And it's a really nice charger. Like, it can charge the Galaxy S21 FE at 25 watts, which is what it's limited to. It comes with a nice braided cable that actually displays how fast the device is charging. It's powerful enough to charge an M1 MacBook Pro or MacBook Air. And if you look at it in size comparison to the 61 watt charger from Apple, it's quite a bit smaller. And it's also much more affordable, coming in at like 40 bucks. I'm gonna drop a link to it in the description so you can check it out for yourself. One of the first things I highly suggest that you do when you get your S21 FE is switch up the wallpaper. As you can see, I have a Vegeta wallpaper from my home screen. And what's great is if I go into the wallpaper and style setting and then tap on color palette, I can match my quick toggles and other system icons to my wallpaper. So I have 4 different selections right here. I have a yellow, bronze, and then black offering. I have another teal, black, and gray, and then this is the one that was selected by default, but I can switch it up. So if I want to match my lock screen, which is trunks, I can go with the yellow, bronze, and black. And now if I tap done and then swipe down, you can see my quick toggles now match that color palette. And if I want to go back to the original, I can do that, tap done, and then now you can see the quick toggles match my home screen. Another way that you can personalize the look of your phone is by enabling dark mode. To do that, go into your settings, go under display, and then just toggle on dark, and you can see my screen turn black. This is also going to help save a little bit of battery life. And if you go into your wallpaper and style setting again, scroll all the way down, you can enable apply dark mode to wallpaper, which will dim the wallpaper a little bit. So that's what it looks like without that setting turned on, or with the setting turned on. And then now I will toggle this off, and you can see the wallpaper got a little bit brighter. Another thing that you should do when you get your S21 FE is customize your quick toggles, because there's actually some quick toggles that are not being shown by default. So by default, these are the ones that you'll see. And if you go over to the second page and then tap on the plus icon, you can see you have a bunch more up here that you can add just by dragging and dropping. And the one that I think most people will find useful is wireless power share, which is basically reverse wireless charging. So just grab that toggle and then bring it down to the quick toggles down on the bottom, and then tap done. And then now you'll see it pop up right here whenever you're viewing your quick toggles. And I can turn wireless power share on, and then now I can reverse wireless charge my earbuds or maybe another phone just by placing it on a table or on a surface and then putting whatever I need to charge on the back of the phone. So just make sure that you take your time and go through here and look at all the options that are available, because you have camera access and microphone access now, which you can toggle on and off if you want to prevent an app from having access to either of those. You also have like Dolby Atmos and a lot of other stuff. So really go through these quick toggles and set it up to your liking and how you use your phone. One thing I love about Samsung phones is the multitasking capabilities, and the S21 FE packs all of these features, including running apps in split screen. However, some apps are just not compatible with this, like Instagram. So if I try to launch Instagram in split screen, you can see it doesn't give me the option to do so. However, there's a way around this without having to download an app like GoodLock. All you have to do is go into your settings, go under About Phone, go under Software, and then tap on Build Number until it asks you to put your PIN in, and then now developer mode has been enabled. So we're gonna go back into our main settings, scroll all the way down, go under Developer Options, go all the way to the very bottom, and then scroll up until you see multi-window for all apps, toggle that on. And now when I try to put Instagram into multi-window, I have the option for split screen view. So I can launch Instagram and Twitter and be able to view both of my social media pages at once. How cool is that? The Galaxy S21 FE is running Android 12, and we have some updated material designs here, including some widgets. Unfortunately, we don't get all of the widgets that you see on the Pixel, but we do get an updated Photos widget. So if I go into our widgets, tap on People and Pets, tap on Add, select some photos here, tap Confirm, I can select the shape, which I'll select this one. It'll go ahead and update the photos or the people that I selected into the widget, and there it is. And look at that handsome man right there. Wow, look at that. That's special. So even though that you don't get all the widgets that you see on the Pixel or maybe some other devices running Android 12, you can always go into the Google Play Store and download third-party widget apps that give you really fun and just different widgets that are more updated to Android 12, as you can see here. And there's some free ones and there's some that you have to pay for, but hopefully Samsung can bring over more Android 12 widgets in future updates. Hopefully. Come on, Samsung. I know you can do it. Now let's go ahead and get into those camera tips and tricks that I mentioned earlier, because even though the Galaxy S21 FE has the same specs as the S20 FE, they still have updated the processing, and it's a really good camera. One thing that people have asked me in previous videos is how to disable the shutter sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and address that right now because it's the same way on the S21 FE as it is other Galaxy devices. You're gonna go into your camera app, go into the settings, scroll all the way down, and you'll see the option to toggle off the shutter sound. So now when you take a picture, it's going to be quiet as a mouse and you no longer have that annoying click sound that you get every single time. So if you're at an event where you need to be quiet and you still wanna take photos, you can do that. Or if you want to be a creep, that's true. So by default, every single time you launch the camera app, it defaults to the photo mode, which is fine for some people, but what if you want it to default to like the video mode or maybe portrait mode because that's where you spend most of your time? Well, you can do that. Let me show you how you can customize your experience. So let me show you exactly what I mean. When I launch the camera app, you can see photo mode is automatically enabled by default. But if I go into my settings and then scroll down to settings to keep and then toggle on camera mode, and go back and then select portrait mode, back out of the camera app, go ahead and close it and then relaunch it, you can see I'm back in portrait mode rather than defaulting to photo. And you can do this for other settings, not just your camera mode. So if I go back into settings to keep, I can select selfie angle, filters. So if I was using a filter and then close the camera app, it will default to that original filter that I was using before I closed the camera app. Same thing with super steady. So it's just a great way to set up your defaults the way that you want. Even though I use portrait mode as an example, this will work for any mode. So whatever you're using last, when you reopen the camera app, it will default to that mode, and that includes Pro mode. The Galaxy S21 FE can save photos in 3 different formats. If we go into the camera settings here, and then go under picture formats, we have an option for high efficiency pictures, which is going to save files or pictures in the HEIF format, which is going to save space and give you better compression of your photos. But if you want the best overall look or just have the most flexibility with your editing, you can enable RAW copies, which will save both a JPEG and a RAW copy of the photo. Unfortunately, RAW only works in Pro mode, which we're gonna talk about right now. So let's talk about Pro mode. To get to it, we're gonna go under More and then select Pro. And inside of here, we have a ton of control, including control for our ISO, shutter speed, exposure compensation, our focus point, so we can have multi, center, or manual. And if you go to manual, you do have focus peaking. As you can see, it's green, which is awesome. We also have control over our white balance, flash. We can set a timer, aspect ratio, metering modes, and we can control the look of the image before we take the shot. So we can adjust our contrast, highlights, shadows, saturation, and tint. And you can do this with the ultra wide as well as the standard camera, which is awesome. And when you factor in all this control with all the flexibility you get with RAW capture, you have a very powerful camera experience. And what's great is you also have Pro Video mode, which gives you a lot of the same control right here, which is fantastic. If you want to learn more about Pro mode or Pro Video mode, make sure to check out the card up top, or let me know in the comment section if you want to see a dedicated Pro Video or Pro mode on the S21 FE. Let's talk about the front-facing camera. There's 3 things that I want to quickly go over. So when it comes to taking selfies and using the front-facing camera, the very first thing I do for any Android device is disable any beauty mode that might be automatically on. So if I go over to the front-facing camera here, and then I tap on the little magic wand in the top right-hand corner, then go under face, you can see skin smoothness is turned on and beauty mode is turned on. If I just tap on where it says on, it will toggle everything off, and now everything looks a lot more natural. So let me give you an example. Here's with the setting turned on, and here's with it turned off. Let me know which one you think looks better. Another thing that you can do to improve your selfies is go into your settings and then go under selfie color tone. And here you can adjust it from bright and natural. So by default, natural is turned on. This is what it looks like. And if I select bright, it brightens up the skin, and it might make your skin look a little bit better depending on the situation that you're in. For the most part though, I find natural to be the best, but it's great that Samsung gives you 2 different options for 2 different types of people. So let me give you an example. Right now, natural is selected. So I'm gonna go back and then take a picture. And then now I'm gonna go back into selfie tone and then turn on bright. And this is what that image looks like. So again, let me know which one you prefer. Another thing that you can do when it comes to taking selfies is tap on 3x4 or where your aspect ratios are, and you can select 32 megapixels, which is going to give you the full width of the sensor and the full capabilities of the sensor. So there's going to be a much sharper image that you can really zoom in on. So if you don't have a lot of imperfections, this is great. But if you have a lot of imperfections, you probably want to stick to 3x4 and 12, so that way you don't see them. So again, here's an example of the 12 megapixel shot, and this is an example of the 32 megapixel shot. By default, if you launch portrait mode, it automatically goes to the 3x telephoto, which is great for faces. But if you want a full body shot, don't forget, you can switch to the 1x or regular wide camera to get a full body shot. Here's an example of both. The video on the Galaxy S21 FE is really good. It can shoot 4K video all the way up to 60 frames per second, but remember, you can't shoot 4K 60 on the ultra wide or the telephoto. But on all the other cameras, the front facing and the main, you can. Well, let's talk about some of these tips and tricks that I have for you for video. The first tip or trick that I have for you is super steady video. Even though I know this isn't new, what's really cool is if you enable it, you now have the option to select the ultra wide, so you can get some really cool action shots because it's gonna broaden your field of view. So if you're chasing somebody on a skateboard or maybe you're a kid, you can get everything in the shot while still getting awesome stabilization. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, so I'm about to chase this squirrel. I'm gonna give you an example of what super steady video does. Here we go. Here we go. The next thing I want to show you is autofocus tracking. This has been updated and it now supports 4K, which is really cool, but it's off by default. To enable it, go into your camera settings and then make sure you toggle on tracking autofocus. Now, whenever you touch the screen, it will track the spot that you touch. As you can see, there's a little yellow box. It works really well, and the fact that it supports 4K 30 frames per second is awesome. And it also supports photo mode. So if you go into your photo mode and then touch your subject, you can track your subject while you're taking burst shots. So it's really useful. That's pretty much it when it comes to video tips and tricks, although Pro Video Mode does bring a few extra capabilities, including different aspect ratios and frame rates. If you want to see a dedicated video on Pro Video Mode, let me know and I'll definitely do it. You know that cool feature on the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro called Magic Eraser, where you can kind of like take something out of an image? Samsung has that too. It's called Object Eraser, and in my opinion, it works a little bit better. Let me show you. So right here, I have an image pulled up, and I want to erase this little green thing. For some reason, it just bothers me. So we're going to go into the editor, and then I'm going to tap on the 3 little dots in the bottom right, and I'm going to select Object Eraser. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to draw around the little green thing. And actually, let's fix that. Draw around the little green thing, and then hit Erase. And look at that. Look how good of a job that did. You cannot tell that that was there. That's pretty incredible. Super useful for blemishes or to remove that drunken uncle from the shot. I like it. All right, so let me give you another example. We got some like nasty underwear over here. So I'm gonna take a quick picture. Let's go ahead and snap this. We'll even use a telephoto this time. So we'll just snap the photo. And now let's pull it up and erase the dirty underwear. Okay, so I got the photo pulled up here. You can see the dirty underwear. Let's go ahead and go into the photo editor. We're gonna tap on the 3 little dots in the bottom right, Object Eraser, zoom in. We'll draw around the dirty underwear, hit Erase, and boom.
Oh, took it out.
No more dirty underwear. We got a fresh photo of a trash can. It works. So there you have it. That was several things to do first as soon as you pick up the Galaxy S21 FE, including some camera tips and tricks. Let me know what you think of this phone. Personally, I like it. I've been enjoying it. The price is a little high, but we can talk about that more in my full review, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and let me know, did these tips help you? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. So another feature about the Galaxy S21 FE that I just noticed, I'm not sure if it's new or not, but it's still pretty cool, and that's dual recording. So now I can show off that we got a parking ticket while talking to you guys at the same time. And what's great is I can show the reaction of the person that got the parking ticket.
You paying for it.
The face changed.